tight. We're a little early for our home practice, so just getting some things set up. So yeah, all right. You can watch Karma Cam while we get ready. Get off my back. Watch out. Got a lot. Don't need two. All right. Good morning, everyone. All right. Hopefully, everyone can see me. And I'm a little bit early, so because I'm gonna chat a little bit. I think maybe some of you guys have seen that I've been putting a few things up and around here today, sharing a bit of our home yoga practice. So please don't fret if you are just joining us and you're like, holy crap, I missed something. You didn't miss anything. We are where we are. Let me get some water. So go ahead and get your stuff. Get your mat, your blocks, your strap. I don't know if it's useful if you want to also now and again have maybe a journal for your practice, whether it's something that I say or something that comes up for you in your practice. Today I wanted to talk about the element of Svadyaya, and that means study of self as well as study of sacred texts. Sometimes the term is scripture. I hope that certain terminology doesn't send people running for the hills going, oh, I knew it. Yoga's always been a cult. I've always known Belinda been trying to convert me, trying to get all up in my head. Nope, I'm not trying to Jim Jones on y'all. I'm just trying to share a little bit of the depth of what this path really involves. And, so as we're working in our body and we're feeling healthier, how does that help us connect in with our spirit so that we can live in our highest being, so that we can manifest our highest being in our actions, our words, and in our intentions. So I'm just kind of chatting a little bit. We've got a little bit of time, so if that makes you think, oh, maybe I will take a few notes down, feel free to grab a notepad and a pen and paper. All right, so I guess I'm seeing that Bethany is here, Joanna's here, Claudia's here, Missy's here. Wish I could talk to Joanna right now because she could also share what she understands about Svadyaya before the COVID apocalypse, so to speak, occurred. Joanna has been involved in our teacher training, so she can certainly enlighten us a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of get started here and have a nice little seated space. I'm sorry, everything in my camera is off, so when you see me reaching this way, I think it's this way, so my camera's in reverse, and it's bothering me that my shirt is kind of weird, but oh well. All right, I'm gonna be my official beginning, right? You guys got all of the uncut version as I'm like setting things up, and as you can see, I think I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with the whole technological connection of us all. So, yay! And hopefully that means that I'll be a little bit more at ease in myself, and hopefully I'm sounding more like myself with you all. So welcome. I'm going to give up on something and let something go. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga. Welcome to our home yoga practice, day 8. So hopefully you guys are home or wherever you are. This is my home away from home, but you guys have seen a bit of my home practice at home. And this notion of home practice and sharing that came out of a little bit of our circumstance, right? Where many of us are in a stay-at-home order and unable to go to wherever we go, whether it's a studio environment or a retreat environment for our yoga practice. And I really wanted to share, what does practicing at home mean, and how do we start to develop that? Because that's what we should, hopefully, and I hate the word should, but should have been practicing all along, because our yoga is here. It's not out there. It's not for someone else to fix or tell you whether you're aligned. We're hopefully building the tools and the awareness, the senses, the interior senses, to tell whether we're balanced or not, and how do we bring it. All right. So before we meditate, the element of yoga that I wanted to focus on today, because I realized in my morning meditation, Belinda hasn't been really feeling all the Svadyaya. So all I try to do is share with you guys where I am in my practice every day. That's all. I'm not coming up with any big lesson plan or anything like that. It's just, okay, this is what I'm living. This is what's real. All right, this might be familiar to anyone who has gone through some of my practice before. Hang on. No, I messed it all up. All right, there are 8 limbs of yoga, 8 trees, 8 limbs in the tree of yoga. The first 2 limbs are the yamas and the niyamas. The yamas are how we treat others, and how we walk in the world, and how we treat ourselves, how we work on our inner landscape. Ahimsa, hopefully that sounds a little familiar. We've talked a little bit about that before. Non-harming, non-violence in our actions, our words, and our intentions, and it's certainly important for us to bring that to mind when we're practicing yoga in our bodies. Satya, truthfulness. Asteya, non-stealing. Brahmacharya, restraint. A lot of times that's interpreted as celibacy, but restraint from our desire. And then aparigraha, non-hoarding. And I'm not just talking about some crazy reality TV show, but what do we stockpile a lot of and excessively. So we're getting into this branch here today, and I've talked a little bit about saucha, purity, so how we cleanse our body, how we cleanse our organs, how we cleanse our thoughts. Santosha, contentment. I think we could all use a little bit of that. Tapas, discipline, dedication, devotion toward. Svadyaya, that's where we are today. Svadyaya. We'll get to Ishvara Pranidhana. That's surrender to something greater than yourself. But today, Svadyaya, study. Basically, I mean study, but study of self or scripture. So certainly, hopefully, in your yoga practice, you're developing that study of self. Like when we're in something, in a posture, you're going, whoa, what's going on here? Oh man, that's me trying too hard. That moment lets you know, oh, I studied myself. I got to be aware of how my actions are impacting in my body, right? Or, wow, I do that all the time, recognizing habitual pattern, right? That's where we get to bring some of that Svadyaya. Whoa, my mind thinks a negative thought all the time. Whose voice is that? Am I really being that mean to myself all the time? Svadyaya. But, so what is that other study, right? And that's study of scripture or sacred text. Now, I only brought a little bit of some of my library, but wanted you to see like various books and elements. I like this one. It's pretty simple, pretty old school, but also just kind of gives you a really simplistic sense of how to bend the body, why you want to bend the body. Here's some Nauli, working some of our organs, looking at different postures in different ways. Really simple, small, thin, carry it around. Awesome, right? I got a book that's just about the yamas, really just starts to think about how we can look at restraint, how do we look at non-stealing in a really kind of deep, thoughtful manner. This one is written by Desikachar. TKV Desikachar is the son of Krishnamacharya. In the beginning, going through more of that asana experience, but a really balanced way. Well, what's really nice is in the back, you'll have elements of the actual sutras. So some would consider that the Yoga Bible. Okay, so the sutras of Patanjali. Patanjali didn't write yoga, didn't make it up. Just notice everybody was doing all this oral history, this oral learning, and decided wanted to bring it together and write it down. So he didn't make yoga. He was just like, look, all of my gurus are telling me stuff. I think I want to write it down. But there are four books of the sutras, 4 padas, looking at the obstacles in the way of our mind. Hang on here. So, the problems in the way of our mind that obstruct our way to getting to the path of yoga. Then the qualities that are important to develop in our mind. And then the last 2 books are the possibilities, the capabilities of our mind, and then the possibilities of our mind. You could say, oh, that's deep stuff, but it actually can really start to guide you into, whoa, what am I doing in this yoga, right? Because in the first sutra, it says, Atta Yoga Nushasanam. Thus, yoga begins, if I take it as the most simple thing. But I like to look at it again and again and say, I'm always beginning. So my yoga is always beginning. The second sutra, Yogaschita Vritti Nirodha. Many of y'all, if you've been in my room, I like to say, if I keep it simple, yoga tells that crazy mind to shut the F up. So, and you could probably just stay on that sutra for the rest of your life, right? You could certainly see books that start to look at just the physical aspects of yoga and how it's affecting our different body parts and organs. I have a serious library, all right? Many of you might see really simplistic books like this that just start to look at the physical, anatomical aspects of your yoga. There's benefit to that. But if this is all that we stick with, your yoga is a physical fitness exercise, and bless you, that's awesome, but you're not yoking and doing the whole practice. And the whole practice can benefit you so much better than how wide you can get your hips. Lastly, some other texts you may want to get into, the Bhagavad Gita, which is another element of Indian culture and practice. And then lastly, guys, this is one of my biggest Bibles. I got this when I went to the yoga service conference, the very first one. This one goes through a lot of Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, and Kriya Yoga, really focusing on our chakras, really focusing on, so our chakras are energies up and down in our bodies. Really focusing on how to yoke and connect our mind, cleanse and purify our body so that we can cleanse and purify our spirit. All right. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick a sutra, all right? This is a really short, truncated version of sutras, just kind of in little short affirmations each day. So I'm just going to pick a sutra and I'm going to read it, and then we're going to do our practice, okay? So this can be an element of how you start your day, right? You can sit in meditation, you can do a breath practice, and then do your check-in. What am I studying about myself? What have I been studying about myself lately? And then how are the sacred texts helping me study myself, all right? That might be a nice way to look at it. Okay, so I'm going to just pick one. And I think that this is in Sutra Book 1, 30. So verse 30. Knowledge is hidden from us by clouds. The clouds of sickness, doubt, laziness, lust, false perception, and the cloud of despair that arises when samadhi or peace eludes you. I'll read that again. Knowledge is hidden from us by clouds, the clouds of sickness, doubt, laziness, lust, false perception, and the cloud of despair that arises when samadhi eludes you. Oh, Wow. Okay. So yeah, I really feel like I can resonate with that because the clouds of doubt about where I am in life and whether or not I can hang on and survive, like financially or even health-wise, that's pretty cloudy right now. Cloudy about false perception. Am I falsely believing that I'm in danger? What are the false perceptions that are clouding my ability to find peace and balance today? Yeah, sickness can definitely cloud our ability to find peace. And I think that we need to bring some forgiveness. I need to bring more forgiveness when I'm ill. All right, so I'm just going to start with that thought and invite a little bit of meditative space on that. Or it doesn't even have to be on that, but if that resonated with you, we'll align the spine, sit any way you want, maybe on a block, maybe in a chair, and invite yourselves to arrive within you. Maybe you're sitting out on a patio. I hope some of you all are outside, connecting, coming outside of all of the imaginings, the busyness of our mind, into what truly is in our core. Feel my skin, my flesh, my bones. Arriving to practice well with others, well with myself. Be in my body, be in my breath, be in my senses, be in my ability to focus, be in my meditation. I'm going to come on back to my mat now. I'll bring that a little closer to you guys. And just wake up my legs. Wonder how everybody is feeling with doing their practice so much. Hopefully you're doing it every day. I notice some familiar faces sometimes, so it's nice to see folks doing their practice every day. I think there's something also I'd like to invite, and that is you don't have to do your practice once a day. I have an evening practice and a daytime practice. All right, it gets to be a little slower, a little bit more yummy as I go toward the end of the day. Middle of the day gets a lot more, a little bit more fiery. Let's point and flex. Feel the muscles in your shins and your calves. Connect. What energetically are we holding in those legs? Rotating thighs in and out. Oh, it really wakes up my hips. I'm going to work a little bit of the low back, tilting the tailbone back and forth. Round. Lift, round, lift. Wake it up. Shoulders, neck. Little Simhasana pranayama. So we'll deep breath in the nose. Out the mouth, wide open throat. Stick the tongue out. Again. Got to do this with the kids. Breath in. Clear our throat, literally. Want to lengthen, work out my rib cage. I really like to feel those obliques, the latissimus, the muscles along the sides, and then let the upper body go. My first one, I usually have a little bit of bend in those knees. Making sure that I'm checking in and asking my body, okay, where do you want to be right now? What do we need for ease? What do we need for health, restoration? Turning my neck, and then lengthening upward. I'm going to bring this leg in. So anytime that we're bringing a piece of flesh up against the belly, so the thigh against the belly, right? Get a bit of compression up against our organs, really to help toward elimination, right? Some expression, some stimulation, massage, all right? So bring in that element and let that tummy relax so that when you're breathing in and out, we're giving a little massage into those organs. Hand can be here or to a block, wrapping that arm around that leg. I'm going to bring some activity. Squeeze the muscles in that leg. Breath in. Exhale, twist. Trying to lift the chest. Breath in. Exhale, twist. And then gently release. Just saying good morning, my back. Feeling that out. And then I'll have another time forward. Folding into ourselves yet again, more compression of the organs and belly. Relax the tummy. Lengthen the spine. What's cloudy right now? And what's clouding us? Are we in a false perception? Are we in a desire space? What's obstructing our peace? And then we'll bring ourselves back up. And we'll bring this other leg in. Wrapping. Try to activate this thigh, okay? Don't just let it flop there. Bring it here. Activate. Squeeze those muscles. Giving yourselves rooting, all right? Hello, Karma. And we'll wrap around. Right hand behind us. Breath in. Exhale, twist. So when I'm not on camera with you all, I never tell her to go away. I'm really surprised she's kind of accepting me, tell her to go away now that we're on camera so much. Because she's used to me just always letting her share space with me. I really believe that we get an energy exchange. The more authentic I can be in myself around all of the beings I love, and let her help me find some balance in my spirit. Sometimes I feel like she's coming over saying, yeah, Belinda, stay in that pose for another few minutes. You really need that. Breath in and twist. And then release, bringing those legs back out. Now I'm going to bring these legs a little closer together now, okay? So I'm a little bit warmed up, rotating here, lengthening and taking it forward. Breath in, breath out, shoulders back. Maybe you're bringing those hands to the soles of the feet. Maybe you're delivering some massage. Release energy. What's getting stuck in there? And lifting ourselves back up. All right, I'm going to invite us to bring into either a cross-legged space or see if you can stack knee on top of knee. All right. So if this isn't getting accessible, and that could be here, that could be here, right? That could be here. Or you could just say, bunk that, I'm gonna go cross-legged, all right? So whatever works. If you're stacking knee on top of knee and that feels kind of okay, you could start to bring those shins out perpendicular. You're gonna feel how tight the sides of the thighs are, maybe feeling your low back opening up, all right? So we're coming into our seated eagle legs, and then lifting the chest. I'm just going to gently invite a twist. And try to relax the low back. See what wants to move there. What wants to get unfrozen. Study it. Bring in that Svadyaya element. I'm studying, not fixing, not analyzing, not judging. Do we even know that difference? That's a new element of studying. And release, and I'm going to come around to the other side, revolving, twisting, lifting the chest, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Oh. If you can, a few pelvic tilts here might provide you something new to study. Good. And basically I'm looking for what wants to move, what doesn't want to move, and what truly is that resistance. Is there some impediment, or is that just where my body is structurally in my bones or in my flesh? Or have I not been moving something in a while and it just needs to gradually move again? I'm going to let my upper body come over. All right, so now the more full-bodied we are, the less this body is going to want to fold over this space. Okay, so this may not be the way that you get what's considered an adduction, right? A crossing of those legs and the hips where we're working that low back in a different way. Doesn't mean that you can't access some of this benefit, just not in this posture, all right? So we'll do this in another way a little later in class or in this practice here today. Maybe use it, if this isn't a posture for you, use that as an element to study. What am I upset about? What am I upset about? About like, can I not get into something? Or is Belinda not providing something that can really help my body? She's only doing something for her body. I thought she was ableist. I'm trying to be as ableist as I can, but also a lot of times santosha, contentment, invites an element of acceptance. Breathe. And we'll bring ourselves back up. And I'm just going to counter that. Okay, so we were crossed, and now we'll open into some abduction. So I'm just going to have these legs open, wake them up. We're still waking up. A little bit of cat and cow. Working my body. Oh, I can feel some of those upper body twists I was doing yesterday. Good, and I'm just gonna let myself come on down. Breathing, maybe seeing if those calves and shins want a little bit more working, lengthening my spine. Invite in some patience. Patience and loving kindness. How do I wear that? There's only so far any instructor can help anyone through their yogic practice. Eventually, if we're earnest about wanting to take this journey, we have to start to take those steps inside of ourselves. Starting to have that honest conversation of, ooh, I'm feeling yesterday in that left hip. Ooh, I'm noticing a judgment I have with myself. Because no one else can start to pick that apart and look at that. All I can do is ask questions, right? Anybody who's been in practice with me knows all I do is just ping question after question after question. And if that inspires you to start that inward journey and follow breadcrumb after breadcrumb, cool. But I don't know what's there, right? I only know my own garbage, and that's more than enough. And we'll bring ourselves up. A little bit of loving touch and massage. I can't speak enough about how important this is, especially for those of us who are solitary and don't have anyone that we're cohabitating with. So if we can't receive touch from other people right now, it's really vital for us to give ourselves some loving, tender touch. All right, I'm going to find the other side now. So again, that can be crisscross applesauce. Ooh. Or you can start to try to stack knee joint on top of knee joint. And this is where my body is. So I'm going to be honest here as I'm sharing my practice with you guys. The more I've had to be engaging with you all by camera, not only has it been very hard for me energetically, I've gotten to learn a lot about myself as a teacher. I really thrive and flourish on feeling your energy and being able to respond to that. So I don't have you through this screen. So that's been one thing. The other thing is that, oh my goodness, I see myself on a screen. I try not to look at it very much. But wow, recognizing like how my body may appear to others, because I don't get to see it when I'm teaching. And just saying, oh, is someone saying, well, that's not perfect, when I saw the thing on the whatever video through Yoga Journal or something, and I'm like, okay, Belinda, whoa, you've got your own judgments about your own body and whether others are accepting of where I am in my practice, and I'm like, oh, bunk that shit, all right, I keep it real, I'm trying to. All right, we'll sit up nice and tall and twist. Shoulders down, chest up. I don't feel like I have a yoga body, but I do have my body, and I feel really comfortable residing in it. And I guess I'm dedicated to nurturing it and keeping it as balanced as it can so that it can serve me for my duration of my stay on the planet. That's all. So my body and what I do with it isn't here for, the gratification of your eyeball pleasure, but it is for me to find a comfy home for my spirit. Breath in, sit up, exhale, twist. I think some of you know that I haven't been very kind to my body in my 5 decades. Rugby was not very kind to my body. Basketball wasn't really kind to my body. Revolve, twist. And I'm really grateful for over the last 2 decades, 3 decades, started to really develop a better, more loving, kind relationship. Asking my body where it wants to go and then letting it surprise me on its capacity and possibility. And then release. When you're ready, coming up and over. Feeling for me, the left side of my spine is talking more. Actually, the impact here, the pressure of this bone space isn't comfortable on my shin. And so it's really fascinating to look at side to side. What's talking? My inner groin and my pelvis on this side. Feeling like it wants to cramp a little bit, so I'm sending a soft thought there. And if the soft thought doesn't work, I'll eventually move my body, because ease and steadiness, sthira sukha. Sthira sukha. And bring myself back up. And I'm going to do another counter, but this time with the feet together. So the hips are opening, that wide opening space, abduction, abduction, as though abduct and shun. And then adduction, add, come together, abduct, come apart. I'm going to lift, pressing the hips open, lifting the chest. Exhale, take it forward. So I showed in one of those books was Heart of Yoga by Desikachar. And he talks really early on about posing and counter posing. So that's something to keep in mind when you're practicing at home. If you're doing a lot of forward bending or you're giving some attention to backward. Certainly if you twist in one direction or you're twisting in another. I'm definitely kind of amplifying, showing this element of abduction versus adduction. But also dynamic versus static, all right? So dynamic, that's that flow, continuing to go. And that's something that a lot of us are familiar with, especially if we're in yogic studios and vinyasa environments. All right, so here I'm going to introduce a dynamic way of coming through this butterfly space, or in Sanskrit, Baddha Konasana, bound angle. Kona is angle, Baddha is bound. And here I'm just working on the slow motion, watery whippiness of my spine. And then the static element is finding a space and holding. And then noticing what's moving in the stillness. Bringing that mind's eye. Yoga quieting the constant churning in our mind. And what happens when we look at that churning? What is the churning? Is the churning an anxiety or desire to get out? Is it an impatience? What is the mind stuff? What's going on in your mind? And what's going on in the body? And we'll bring ourselves up. Nice. My hips, my legs, feeling a little awake. All right. I'm going to come to hands and knees. So there's seated, there's kneeling, there's reclining, there's standing, there's inverted, right? Different ways that we can be in our bodies. All right, so we're kneeling. Some of you might want to put a blanket or something under your knees. If your wrists are sensitive, you can decrease some of that pressure a little bit by resting on the knuckles of your fists. A few cat and cows here. Breath in, tilt the tailbone. Could you start with the tailbone? Learning how to isolate. Tilting the tailbone. What's moving and when is it moving? Or do we just dump down and not really know, not connected with what's moving and when it's moving? So leading with the tailbone, tilting up and back, thrusting the chest up, lengthening through the throat up, and then rounding the spine. How much of the spine can we build awareness of moving? Could you move vertebra by vertebra? There's so much we could explore and study here. Curiosity. Let go of any kind of command space in your yoga. We're not here to perform. We're not trying to improve our performance. We're not trying to have a really good yoga ROI. And for those who don't know what that is, that's a return on our investment. Good, and release. All right, I really feel like I'm ready to build up a little bit of heat, wake my body up. I'm just going to shift and swing my hips, just feel what's going on. So the sides of my thighs are very tight. I've been doing a lot of walking, starting a little bit of running. That's really going to tighten things up. I'm going to lengthen my left leg back and bend that knee. And then pull the chest up, pulling the heel to the back of the head. Exhale, knee to chest. Study, aware, make it static. Hold, breathe. And then inhale to the left. Hold, breathe, making it static. What's still pressing? What's still lifting? And exhale, round. Now dynamic, breathing in, breathing out. Make a choice, breathe in. Maybe you want to stay static on a spot, breathing out. Maybe you're really digging this dynamic, breathing in. And maybe digging this is relative. And then I'll release. Just going to come on up, standing on those knees, shake those wrists out. Finding a clasp. Open the collarbones and the shoulders. Little circles, that's all. Good. Maybe just see where the hips want to go. How are they feeling? And then we'll get ready for the other side. Good. We'll reach that right leg back. Feel it, squeeze the thigh. Maybe shifting, swaying. Checking in on how am I carrying my weight? Is one side carrying me more than the other? Knee to chest, pulling that in, breathing, static, coming within, feeling my strength, maybe feeling my non-desire to feel my strength, and arch it, breath. Keep pushing through those arms, and in, and up. And then maybe dynamic. And I'm going to bring that down. Ooh, come up and shake that out. Open up the shoulders. I'm going to change the threading of my fingers. Shoulders, hips. Feel my neck. My neck's actually feeling better than it's felt in a long time. I'm putting a lot of attention into that upper back and neck. I'm going to find down dog, so I'm going to walk my hands forward. You can always stay at hands and knees and then step up rather than go to down dog. So if you're feeling like, meh, it's not for me, for whatever reason, just hold on for your tabletop and just hug the core, so just pulling the muscles of the core in, not sucking it up, just engaging like you're getting ready for a punch in the gut. And lengthen up and back if we're trying to find a little bit of down dog. Don't worry even about your angle. Right now, start the conversation with your toes, the bones in your feet, your heels, your ankles, your calves, your shins. Notice if your mind is starting to get distracted, or you're looking at your toes and wondering about whether you need to do your nails. I'm distracted going, I haven't shaved my legs in a red hot second, but who cares? That's the study. And then saying, oops, let me come back to my practice. Whoops. Breathe. Good, and we're going to come up to the top of our mat. So you could go to down dog and then come bring one knee down, step another leg up, and then step the leg up. So that's a great way to give yourself a transition. Breath in and lift. Exhale, allow the upper body to hang. Engage the thighs and let them go. Engage the thighs and let them go. Where did your mind go? What aspect of yoga are you practicing right now? Contentment, applying yourself, non-harming, focus, self-study. When all else fails, bring your attention back to your breath. Be here in your body, on your mat, in whatever room you're in. Be on your spot on the planet. And we'll gradually roll the spine up. All right. Let's breathe in, lengthen, shoulders down. Could you grow taller from the waist? Pushing the legs down. Breathe in, exhale, let it go. Good, let's lengthen the chest forward. Now maybe your hands rest on the floor out in front of you. You can get a block or a book if you would prefer. Okay? I don't have to be that far away. All right. Bend the knees a little here and we'll do a little cat and cow in this position, seeing how much the spine really wants to work. Tucking, pulling the tailbone up, chin up, stretch the throat, exhale, round. All right, so you can keep the knees soft as you go back and forth here. Or you could straighten the legs. What moves? Notice whether you feel like the spine moves more or less from this position than in hands and knees. Notice if your mind goes, ooh, what should it be? Let the should go. Don't should all over your practice. Good. Then we'll find a neutral space. Again, your hands could be on a block. They could be down on the floor. I like to use my little raptor claw fingertips. And I will bring my left hand beneath my face and revolve open. Try not to be way back here. See if you can shift. Yeah, breath. And switching it out, revolve. And bring both down, chest forward, nice flat spine. I'm going to root and squeeze into my right leg and lift the left leg up. Driving that heel straight back, pulling the chest forward. Feeling the back of this calf starting to work. Twist the hip open. Yay. I know many of us are like, yay. And close. Others are just like, shit, I'm hanging on. And twist. Remember, you can bring both legs down. This is your practice. And close. Ooh, let's open that up. And close. Bringing that leg down. Rolling the spine up. Good. We'll find a clasp. Open the shoulders, knees soft, hips up. Breathe. And bring it forward. Countering. You'll notice I tend to like to do stuff in between a side of something, right? So this coming to standing, doing the back bend, and coming forward is a nice little reset button for me. So now I'm going to reset again, finding that nice flat spine. Remember, you could use your block here. I'm going to root into my left leg and ask this right leg to come up, and then feel my left leg supporting me. Study that. What parts of the foot do I tend to like to really lean into? Could I ask a different section of that foot to hold my weight? And I notice that section now going, hey, wait a minute, you don't usually talk to me. I'm cool. You don't have to talk to me right now. The heel has got this. It's had it all along. And I'm like, well, let me just see what you got. That's the kind of conversation I have in my yoga. Breathe. And then, oh, hello. Open that hip and close. And open. Still driving that right heel back and active, and close. And open. Feel that pelvis, feel that groin. And close, bringing that leg down. Breath in, half flat. Forward fold, letting it go. Shaking the head, yes or no. All right, I'm going to come down to my tippy toes. My knees are together. I'm actually going to do a little hop and have my feet together. Now, feel free to bring a block here to give you a little bit of steadiness. If you feel like you don't need the block, go ahead and set it aside and see about balancing. All right, so we're just in this center squat, getting ready to see about a Pashasana, all right? So now there's going to be a moment in time where these toes are going to say, hey, I'm done. Listen and respect your body, okay? So whenever you need to come down, sit on your butt. If you want to restart, you can restart. But we're just going to explore a twist. So I'm going to you could bring the block to the side here, bring the opposite hand there, and twist. Some like to lift, rotate, and bring that arm around. Breath. Feeling steadiness, feeling the wobbling, feeling your shins, feeling your toes, studying them. Study your breath, study the calmness in your mind. Good, and we're going to find the other side. So I'm just going to Now, I'm going to show you on this other side and hop around. That hand, if you don't need it on the block, it could come to the floor. And twist. Ooh, it feels really good on my low back here today. Squeezing the thighs, feeling those toes, feeling the support I can get just on those toes. What's possible? What's the capacity? Breath. Good. And release. And we'll come on down onto our butts. Let's go ahead and thread our fingers in between the toes. Bringing fingers in between each toe. Especially after what we just went through, they could use a little bit of love. And we'll flex and point, flex and point, really stretching through here. Stretch, point. You don't have to lift that leg that high. I'm doing camera view kind of stuff. Like, see my foot? Ankle rotation, breath. Work that out. Right? These toes and ankles, we're just supporting all of you. Thank them. Thank them for what's possible. Thank them for what they're capable of. We'll wiggle those fingers out. Massage into those feet, soles of the feet. Really give the ankles, Achilles tendon some love. Getting all into the foot here. Yeah. And then wait that foot. All right. Do the other side. I'm gonna thread the fingers in between each toe. This foot is always a little different. And then flex back, hi babe, and flex forward. Come on, they can't see the feet. They got their own feet, I know. Okay, so we'll just flex. Good. Can I have a kiss? No? No kisses? Okay, thank you. You wanna go lay down? Please, go lay down. Ankle rotation. My whole energy changes, right? When I get like that little love touch. Changing direction. Love touch from my karma. We'll get those fingers out of there and then massage the feet, giving them some love under the Achilles, the heels. What areas of the foot can you feel a lot? What areas can you not feel that much? Study. Get to know. This is our flesh. This is our house. Inspect the house. And woo! Raise those feet up. Good. All right. So let's work on some hips in a different way, okay? We're gonna hug this leg. You can bring, I'm using my right leg, and I'm bringing my arms under those calves, okay? That could look like this for some of us. That's perfectly fine. So feel out where you are, sitting the chest up. If you like and it's accessible, possible, you bring the elbow around into that foot and the other elbow around at the knee, sitting up, and then maybe just rock. Hug, lifting, breathing. So I'm going to bring my left hand to my right foot. I'm going to snake my right shoulder under this knee. And just start to straighten and bend. Straighten. Can I lift my spine at the same time? Who am I in this body, in this shape? Am I still the same person? Do I still believe the same things? Am I being kind? Am I being contented? Nice. All right, I'm going to bring the sole of that foot up against the thigh. You could do a little twist here if you like, and then come forward. Breath in, breath out. Feel your heart beating. Feel the warmth of your body. Feel your breath enter your body and leave the body. And then we'll release and come up. Good, shaking that out. That's my little intermission on this side. And then we're going to see about giving this side a little hug. This is my left side, always notoriously screamer. Right there, screamer. Ooh, chest is up, going tall through the back of my neck, maybe rocking. Oh, waking it up. Saying hello. Making sure, too, that I am saying hello. I'm not saying, hurry up, god damn it, frigida. Nope, I'm going to be nice. Maybe static, maybe you're rocking. Maybe that's dynamic. Your rocking can be your dynamic. This can be your static. All right, right hand to the left foot. Start to snake that shoulder under. Okay, and for some of us it looks like this. And maybe we're going oop, oop, oop. All right, cool. For some of us, maybe it starts to come up onto that shoulder a little bit more, and we start to straighten and bend, just feeling out what's going on. Do this with kids, please. Please, please, please. With some humility, humor, and fun. Just exploring, not a contest. Use it as a great way to study what's inside of us that wants to make things a contest. We're not in competition with each other and with ourselves. And we'll let that go, bringing the sole of that foot down into the thigh. Feeling my back, feeling my core, my spine. Revolve, twisting out those guts. And then coming forward. Breath in, breath out. And we'll bring ourselves back up. All right, I'm going to invite us to find a nice, comfortable, seated space. Maybe put your back up against the wall. Just to have a nice, quiet meditation to depart from our practice, okay? Much of my study has taught me that, the asana, it has to prepare us for the breath practices and the meditation practices. Starts to get that agitation out of the way. So we've gotten to sit and move and feel and inquire. All of that asana practice, posture practice. Inquiring, how are you? How are you, neck? How are you, circulatory system? How are you, respiratory system? Eyes can be closed or lightly open, jaw relaxed. Relax the belly and allow a breath. Sit and exist in awareness of being in your body, breathing. back to the breath. What's still clenching and tensing in the body? What's still clenching and tensing in our mind? Hatha Yoga Nushasanam, the first sutra, and thus our yoga begins. Yogaschita vritti nirodha. Yoga quiets the constant churning in our mind. Third, tadadrastu svarupe vastanam. And after the mind is quiet, the seer can see themselves clearly. Doesn't mean we like what we see. Or maybe we actually do find some joy in what we see about ourselves. But just clear sight. Thank you for letting me share my practice with you this morning. Your home practice looks the way it needs to look. It's about what you're feeling and building awareness and sight, clear sight toward Svadyaya. Happy studying of yourself, everyone. Namaste.